Good morning, Wilson. Thank you for joining us. Well, huge allegations against the EFCC. Can you controvert this?
No, I have a little difficulty hearing you because I'm not by the television, so I've not been keeping track of the discussion.
We'd just like to get a response. You heard he was at the Senate committee yesterday. You heard many of what he said. What's the response of the Commission against these allegations of graft?
Well, it would have been better if I had followed the discussion from the beginning, but as it is, it's difficult left, but I will make an effort. What happened yesterday really was a distraction as far as I'm concerned, because the Senate Committee on Ethics actually sent an invitation to the EFCC to be present yesterday, and we sent a letter to them that will not be able to make it yesterday, and offering to be present at a later date. Surprisingly to us, in spite of the fact that we sent a letter and they went ahead with the proceedings, a fair hearing would have dictated that if a party to a case is not available, then you should hold your peace and wait for both parties to be present. So if you say you are looking into a matter and you've added two parties and one is not present and you go ahead to hear, I don't think that provides a fair benchmark for...
Well, the thing about that, Wilson, is that, I mean... Can you hear me, Wilson? I need to be sure.
The issue the gentleman has raised is one that Nigerians with conscience have to take a critical look at. What is at issue here is not a probe of Lamode per se, but an attempt to derail the anti-corruption fight of the new administration. When a suspect that is under trial by a law enforcement agency takes a matter to a supposedly National Assembly, it amounts to us as to the distraction, because the gentleman that is making the allegation has no reputation whatsoever. This is somebody that was convicted for
Mr. Ujare, can we come in here?
Converting police equipment fund.
Mr. Ujare, he is still innocent. He's still, Mr. Ujare, you
making bogus allegations.
Well, it really doesn't matter, Mr. Ujare, if you can let us come in now.
If you even compound all
the we need to be sure he can. If he can't, he can't go on and on without responding to questions. Mr. Ujare, can you hear us?
Okay.
We'll have to let
like he's reading something. Mr. Ujare, can you hear us?
Anybody that is the abuses of the commission.
He can't hear us.
We'll have to correct that. We'll let our producers just ensure that he can hear us so we can get the questions back and forth. So in the meantime, we'll have to just hold on a bit. So we'll correct that. So
Mr. Ujare, are you there?
So we need to get him back so he can hear, and then we'll put those questions. But George is still there. George, there are questions that have been raised now about you in terms of your integrity. They're saying that, look, you may be coming up with those petitions, but if they question your integrity, they, by extension, to some extent, are impugning the allegations that you're bringing forward.
Listen, let me respond to that, please.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Listen, in criminal law, prosecutors go into the prison. Is somebody serving time in prison? They'll bring that person to testify. All you look at is the veracity of the testimony. EFCC even does it in a conspiracy case, maybe involving 20 people. You can have 1, 2, 3, or 4 people roll over, admit they are wrong, and you use their testimony. Are you understanding what I'm saying? So what Nigerians, the whole world should look into is the authenticity, the veracity of what I'm adducing.
Now, just a moment, Mr. Uboh, you were saying that you've answered the question to an extent, but then it would seem that you're also quite specific in terms of, the periods within which you want us to look at the EFCC. You're looking at specific cases, and you're looking at specific monies diverted or transferred or misappropriated, according to you, under the tenureship of Mr. Ibrahim Lamode. You're not looking at the tenure of other EFCC chairmen, even though right now you have generalized and said the EFCC. Do you have a bone to pick with the current chairman of the EFCC?
Yes, you are not giving me opportunity to really
talk.
By all means,
go ahead and tell us.
I mean, come on. My submission yesterday, after submitting the letter 2011, I submitted the one 2013, and I stated that these letters were submitted under the leadership of Lamode.
Yes.
I am the CEO of PASS. If anything is done at PASS under my leadership, I bear the brunt. Now, I submitted a letter Farida Waziri wrote to President Jonathan in same 2011, June 24, 2011, in which she stated that in 3 years of her stewardship, 985 billion naira was recovered. So I added what was recovered before her tenure, added what was recovered after her tenure, and I came up with 1.995 trillion. Now I added all the foreign currency recoveries, and I came up with over 2 trillion.
Then just allow me comment very quickly here. A moment, we'll come back to you because we have Mr. Ujare back online. Mr. Ujare, the issue here that we would love you to address is the veracity of his claims. How well can you tell us about the loot recovered from the former governor of Bayelsa State? Whether Mr. Uboh was an ex-convict or not is immaterial at this moment. Nigerians, when we talk about fight against corruption, is to also look at the watchdog, the EFCC. Where's the money gotten from the former governor of Bayelsa State? That's the big question now.
That question is not a matter of controversy. Anybody who has been in this country should be aware that on the 8th of July 2009, the EFCC returned the asset that was recovered from former governor of Bayelsa State, DSP Alamese, back to Bayelsa State government. And the former governor, chief receiver, was on hand to receive those assets from the former chairman of EFCC, Mrs. Farida Waziri. On that occasion, more than 3.2 billion naira worth of assets was returned back to the Bayelsa State government. And as we speak, I'm not aware of any moment, any time, any occasion that the state government came up and said, okay, what you EFCC has returned back to us is not exactly what was taken from DSP Alamese. So
is this a case, a moment please, is this a case of miscalculation? Because Mr. Uboh is also alleging that there's a shortfall of over 1 billion that's not recorded from when the money was moved from the former Spring Bank to what we do have with the Bayelsa State government.
I'm explaining to you that whatever was recovered by the EFCC from Alamese has been returned back to the Bayelsa State government. If anybody has any reason to complain that anything has not been returned in the Bayelsa State government, I'm not aware that Uboh, who is there, is from Bayelsa State. He's from the Graft in Delta State. I wonder what is his interest in the loot.
That's my point. It doesn't matter. You are with the EFCC. We cannot say the EFCC chairman only fights corruption from his own native state. This is Nigeria. So irrespective of where the petitioner is coming from, they say it's immaterial. Let's go back to the, bags of evidence he said he has, and he's brought that before the Senate committee. Why wasn't the EFCC chairman present to at least debunk some of these allegations making the rounds?
What evidence are we talking about? What evidence are we talking about? You look at the antecedents of the person that is supposedly bringing the evidence. Anybody can come and
if you don't come to the it doesn't really matter because he
and any Tom, Dick and Harry can come up with documents and say I have documents. Have you subjected that document to forensic test? Are you sure that is
did the EFCC chairman come before the committee yesterday for them to go through the documents?
I have just told you in passing that we wrote to that committee to say we would be present yesterday. And we sent an observation team there. and they walk them out. If you want to have a fair hearing, you are conducting a public hearing, you don't walk out anybody from that hearing. You allow them to listen to the procedure. If you have nothing to hide, there's no reason for you to walk out any delegation from that hearing.
Why wasn't the chairman there? Mr. Wujare, why wasn't the EFCC chairman present yesterday?
That is what I'm explaining to you, that he wrote a letter to them that he will not be present yesterday, that will come at a later date.
When is the later date, please? When is the later date? Mr. Wujare, Nigerians would love to know the later date he's to appear.
So the point I'm trying to make to you is that this is a distraction, and the media is being sucked into it. It's a plot to delay the anti-corruption program of this administration.
Are you saying, just a moment, Mr. Wujare, are you saying that all of...
the better for this nation?
Mr. Wujare, are you saying that people shouldn't ask questions of the EFCC? Because you sound like you're sounding a little irritated. Is it okay for the EFCC to ask people questions and not be able to take any questions by itself?
I didn't get you clearly.
Okay. Are you saying that the EFCC is not accountable? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely not. We are an agency that is founded on transparency.
Because quite a number of people say that this particular issue borders on the transparency of the loot that EFCC recovers. Do you have a process, through which you can transparently say that this is the process through which we transfer back that whatever it is that we recover to either the federal or the state governments?
I think we need to even educate the media in terms of how we manage assets. When you recover assets, you don't share it. There are procedures. If what I recover is from an individual, if you are a victim of scam, whatever we recover is returned back to the victim of that crime. But if the source of that proceed is from the Commonwealth, is from the federation account, or is from the state treasury, we return it back to the consolidated revenue fund. That is what the provision of the EFCC Act says. And that is what we have done in respect of the Allegation case. So
all right.
For somebody to come and brandishing documents and people are thinking that this is a legitimate document, I think we shouldn't be giving a platform for such arrogance to try to...
Well, Wilson, your duty, your responsibility is to respond to what it is. The media can focus on anything they want, and that's their job. They are watchdog. It's up to them to focus. Is it true or not? That's why we invited you to speak on it in the first instance. Could you tell us then, when will the chairman appear before the Senate committee?
When did he appear before them?
When will he appear before the Senate committee? What date is he seeking to appear?
He wrote a letter to the Senate committee that the commission commissioned an audit firm, KPMG.
No. The question is, when will he prefer to appear?
And that audit firm has submitted a report that is under review. And he wanted the process to be concluded and to
Mr. Wilson, can you hear me?
All the information that they need in terms of all aspects that the commission has received, not specific.
I'm not sure he can hear me, but Wilson, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Wilson? I'm not sure he... Wilson, are you still there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
We just want to know, when will the chairman prefer to appear before the Senate committee?
I didn't get you clearly.
What day will the EFCC chairman prefer to appear before the Senate committee?
It is within the right of the committee to state a date that they will have it. But he has said that he will not be there yesterday, and so it is for them to give us a new date.
All right, thank you very much indeed, Wilson Uboh, the spokesperson of the EFCC. And Judge, we're completely out of time on this one. You say you've got bags of evidence. Are you going back to that Senate committee?
Let me say something finally. Chamberlain...
Briefly, George, we're out of time, briefly.
Okay, I can meet Wilson anywhere with the evidence, and you can come there to cover it. We can go to EFCC now, right, and I will confront them with the evidence. We can go tomorrow, any day, and I want the reporters to be there. I will bring the bags of evidence I have.
All right. Thank you very much indeed, George Uboh, petitioner against the EFCC. Thank you for talking to us today.